This story I'm talking to you about is almost going to play in the same way that I did with the story about Stephen A. Smith. And like I said, why I chose to wait to see what the response was from his critics. Well, not his critics as in Stephen A. Smith, but Kyrie Irving's critics, and that mainly being Stephen A. Smith. I'm doing that the same thing with Deshaun Watson. As you know, I actually started talking about the Deshaun Watson situation last year, but then I had stopped talking about it because it really didn't. It kind of lost steam, and then it picked back up this year, as in a couple weeks ago, because of what recently occurred or came out about him and basically a bunch of lies, like many of us had predicted, because we know that the real reason why they were going after Deshaun Watson was because he wanted to get out of his contract playing with the Texans, and they wasn't trying to let him go. And then all of a sudden this stuff just kind of pops up. It's the same wash, rinse, repeat type of deal, especially when it comes to black men who are in entertainment or in sports, public figures, let's put it that way. But the reason why I have this picture up here is because, first off, if you don't know who this is Molly Qerim. She is one of those analysts that works at ESPN alongside Stephen A. for Asshole Smith. Go figure. And if you also didn't know, she used to be married to Jalen Rose. This is his ex-wife. So that's the connection they have. And you know, Jalen Rose, he does commentating as well, but more separate from where she's at, and I think that's for the best. But the reason why I'm bringing Molly Qerim up, is because she had some things that she had to say about Deshaun Watson and the most recent developments about him. And if I was Deshaun Watson, I would be getting ready to get my lawyers prepared to hit her with some kind of defamation suit. So I'm going to read this article that's coming from this website called awfulannouncing.com. It says Molly Qerim slams Deshaun Watson's guaranteed contract as a quote-unquote slap in the face to all women. She says, it goes on to say, the Cleveland Browns has been wildly chastised in recent days, not just because they traded for a quarterback accused by 22 women of sexual assault and harassment, but also because of the historic contract that they handed him. During Monday's morning First Take on ESPN, host Molly Qerim lashed out at the Browns for rewarding Deshaun Watson and safeguarding him financially from a potential suspension. So you can already see where this is headed. She's about to pocket watch the hell out of his money. Watch this. After reportedly seeking to move from the Baker Mayfield to find an adult for their quarterback position, the Browns traded for Watson and, in effect, the 22 civil lawsuits against him. Then they signed him to a $230 million fully guaranteed contract, which includes just $1 million in his first year with the Browns, protecting Watson in case of a season-long punishment by the NFL. There's 22 civil suits. I don't know whether he's won or lost. That's why I think it's premature by the Cleveland Browns to give this man the most guaranteed money ever, Qerim said to her First Take co-host Stephen A. for Asshole Smith. If he's losing these cases, he should not be playing this entire season, maybe 2 seasons, Qerim continued. And that's why he only loses $1 million, because they know a punishment might come down. $1 million when you're about to get $229 million, that's a slap in the face to all women everywhere. They protected him, so he gets all his money. I'm trying to figure out, did Molly Qerim read anything that was put out there by the press with Deshaun Watson in the last week or so? My guess is no. But I want you to follow me here, because this is probably going to be, I'm going to be honest, this is probably going to be a damn near 20-minute video, because I have more to say beyond Molly Qerim, because it's a pattern that I've noticed as well. Qerim also called for more information to be released by the Browns on how they reached the decision to trade for Watson, knowing the open allegations against him. On Sunday, Browns owner Dee and Jimmy Haslam released a statement defending their decision to acquire Watson, claiming they spent a tremendous amount of time exploring and investigating the opportunity through a comprehensive evaluation process. But the 210-word explanation from the Haslams lacks substance, and their reputed investigation never even sought to speak with the lawyer representing the 22 women in question. Kudos to First Take for going beyond the football field to analyze the Watson trade. Now, I'm going to put a pause on Molly right quick, and I'm going to move on to another person. And this person I'm about to talk about, her name is Sarah Spain or whatever it is. And she too, like Molly, has an issue with the whole Deshaun Watson situation. And I'm going to read this article that's coming from Total Pro Sports. It says Deshaun Watson has a new home in the NFL after days of deliberation and meeting with several prospective teams. The now former Texans quarterback decided to waive his no trade clause on Friday to join the Cleveland Browns. Houston sent Watson and a 2024 fifth-round pick to the Browns in exchange for first-round picks in 2022, 23, and 24, along with a 2023 third-rounder and a 2024 fourth-round selection. Cleveland also inked Watson to a new 5-year, $230 million deal that is fully guaranteed. Watson still faces 22 civil lawsuits and an NFL investigation that could result in a suspension. Shortly after the trade was announced, NFL spokesperson Brian McCarthy released the following statement. Any transaction would have no effect on the NFL's ongoing and comprehensive investigation of the serious allegations against Deshaun Watson, nor would it affect his status under the collective bargaining agreement and the personal conduct policy. If the league's investigation determines that Watson violated the personal conduct policy, discipline may be imposed pursuant to the policy and the CBA. ESPN, another ESPN shill, Sarah Spain, took it a step further in her assessment of Watson and the Browns trading for him. The Browns wanted an adult to lead their team, so they went with a guy currently facing 22 allegations of sexual assault and harassment who demanded a trade and threatened to sit rather than play for his previous team. Even before accusations sideline him might be suspended. Let's start with the basics facts some of you seem willing to ignore. An NFL quarterback eschewed expert league team massage therapist in favor of searching for them on Instagram, then went to at least 50 different therapists, some unlicensed, one of whom was an esthetician, not a masseuse. Now, here's the thing, before I go any further, because I don't want to forget, those individuals, didn't many of them come out and say that Deshaun Watson did not do anything that they're accusing him of? They actually said he was actually very respectful. So they're trying to figure out, where did this come from? Like I said, I want y'all to follow me here because between Molly Qerim and Sarah Spain, it was something I noticed about these two in this situation. You conspiracy let me read the tweets because that's where it ended up going to. Someone said in response to her, said, "Hi Sarah, love your work. I was just listening to your commentary on ESPN, the ticket as far as Watson going to Cleveland and his pending 22 civil, but it's funny how names like Chad Wheeler." Now this person actually pulled the words from my mouth what I was going to say earlier. Get lost in the mix when we're talking about athletes who are given privilege. She responds to this person, says, "What privilege do you mean specifically? He's been out of the NFL since he was charged and likely will never play again. He was a fringe player most had never heard of, and the story made major news at the time but faded away, as most do when involving lesser known athletes." But that's besides the point, Sarah. You could have kept his name in the news if you wanted to, but you didn't. So what you're saying is because Deshaun Watson is the more known person, let's keep him in there. Or is it because of something else? I wonder. But let me continue. She goes on to say, "You conspiracy theorists really don't hear how stupid you sound, claiming 20 plus women, including some not filing the suit, were hired because the team was mad at Watson so he'd be under investigation while they tried to get a good trade for him, causing him to sit on the books a year." It's very possible, Sarah. It's very possible. Considering Deshaun Watson is a black man in America, and we've seen this kind of thing go down before time and time again, it is very possible. She says, "Also interested to hear whether the Browns spoke to any of his accusers before making the deal. We often hear that teams have fully vetted or properly investigated accused athletes only to learn they've only spoken to friends and family. See Winston. If so, he'd go have consenting sex paid or otherwise. The appeal for him appears to be making women uncomfortable, same way Cosby." Listen to that. Now she brought Cosby up. "Didn't want sex. He wanted to violate unconscious women." Okay. See what I'm telling you? We're leading to a stronger point here when it comes to her and Molly Qerim. Like most assault and harassment for Watson, it's about power and manipulation, not lust. Then Adam Schefter says, "Every dollar of Deshaun Watson's new 5-year, $230 million deal is guaranteed per sources, setting a new record for the highest guarantee given to an NFL player." Then Sarah comes back and says, I'll be interested in learning if there are elements of this contract that negate guarantees in the case of future criminal or civil accusations and charges. $230 million guaranteed, which is $80 million more than anyone ever, is a whole lot for a potential serial predator. A grand jury declined to indict Watson last Friday, which eliminated the greatest threat to his reputation and his career, but the behavior of which Watson is accused remains extremely disturbing, which is what Spain is alluding to. Watson hasn't played since the 2020 season after being accused of sexual assault and sexual misconduct. The Texans paid Watson for the 2021 season, but he was inactive for every game. Could Watson be scared straight from this situation? We truly do not know, and it's the wait and see that makes the situation ever so scary. Not to mention, a second grand jury is considering a charge against him. Watson, the Texans 2017 first round pick, has thrown for 104 touchdowns and 36 interceptions, and with 14,539 yards and a 67.8 completion percentage. The reason why I highlighted both of those points is because if you notice, you have Molly Qerim and Sarah Spain, both PC women, who are coming down on this black man. And as far as I know, it is just only them two, but it's probably more. They got that Carolyn Bryant energy down to a T. They bringing up how much money this man gonna make. They talking about how he shouldn't get it and all types of stuff like this. Sarah Spain even went farther and said that he's a potential serial predator. And that person brought up Chad Wheeler, but then she deflected and got on code. She, like I said, if she really wanted to, she could have went in on Chad Wheeler, and so could have Molly Qerim if they even did. And you can tell she didn't because she said he's a lesser known player. I never heard Sarah Spain talk about him, but then again, I don't really know who Sarah Spain is. I heard of Molly Qerim though. I've never really cared for Molly. But they made sure of that, and then Sarah had the nerve to bring up Cosby. She had the nerve to bring up Cosby. Another black man. So you see where I'm going with this, right? And why I had to highlight both of them. You have two white women that are seeking to destroy even further this black man. And imagine if all of this stuff comes out about him not to be true. I need Deshaun Watson to take transcripts of everything that these two heifers have said, and I'm going to need him to countersue them. Or not so much countersue because they're not suing him. They just sue them. And see if we can get them off of their platform since they want to take money from other people. But they're so upset that this black man might actually be innocent. Because see, we in America, the black man is just guilty before being proven innocent. Amazing. Now, I said this video was probably going to reach 20 minutes, but honestly, I'm glad that it didn't because I can't stand to waste another millisecond on these two over-the-hill heifers. Y'all let me know what you think about this down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. If you are new, make sure you go ahead and hit that bell to be notified when I upload a new video or go live.